The National Electoral Commission (INEC) says it has recorded over 3 million completed registrations in the ongoing second phase of the continuous voter registration exercise. According to the Week 13 update released by the Commission in Abuja, the figure comprises both online pre-registrations and physical walk-ins at various centers nationwide at April 3rd. The data revealed that over 2 million citizens completed their pre-registration online, while over 1.3 million voters opted for physical registration. It also showed Jigawa leading with 201,047, representing 5.84% of the total registrations, followed by Lagos with 181,095, while Kano State ranked third with 177,681. In a bid to further upgrade schools' facilities for continuous academic standards, the state government has directed the principals of its 86 flagship secondary schools to do the needed assessments of facilities in their various schools. Speaking at Okemoso during a strategic meeting with zonal education officers across the 20 local government areas of the state and the principals of the flagship schools, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology in the state, Professor Abayomi Arigbabo, says another reason for the upgrade and provision of facilities is to adequately reposition and fortify secondary school systems for excellent academic activities. Professor Arigbabo recalled that the present administration in the state had set aside some schools, tagged them flagship schools, to serve as models for others in terms of student population control, class management, supplies of digitalized teaching gadgets, conducive learning environments, and many more. The Commissioner warned the principals to desist from any activities capable of lowering the standards of education in the flagship schools, emphasizing that transfer into those schools was not allowed in any form and at any level. Commissioner Arigbabo charged the principals to be creative, forward-looking, proactive, and as well as come up with innovative ideas that can single out their schools, promising that the government and its repositioning agenda will not leave any stone unturned in all schools, whether flagship or not.
So, as the principal of the flagship schools, do you want your school to work like every other school? Don't forget that those schools, most of them, they have pedigree, they have their own needs, they are actually cut out a very good niche for themselves. And that's why when people mention those schools, we have certain impression because of things that has happened in the past.
Mrs. Oluwatosin Oloko appreciated principals for being the agents of repositioning initiative in the various schools, noting that through the supervision of the Commissioner, more transformative policy and projects have been carried out in all schools, most especially the flagship ones. In his appreciative notes, the President of All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCAPS, Mr. Alaba Olugbewisa, enjoined his colleagues to rise to the clarion call by the Commissioner towards conceptualizing ideas that can earn their schools a pride of place. In view of the strategic roles of valleys in various communities and repositioning themselves for the next political dispensation, the Council of Valleys in Adodo local government has commenced a 3-day strategic leadership retreat and summit. The 3-day retreat was declared open by Ogun State Deputy Governor Engineer Noimot Salako Oyedele, who commended the Council of Valleys for the initiative while charging them to be the bridge for the younger generation to connect with their roots, thereby promoting communal bond for strengthening governance at all levels. Our reporter, Margaret Okunola, has the details.
Traditional rulers are custodians of communal values and symbols of unity within their communities, which is the foundation for facilitating socio-economic growth. To this end, the Council of Baales in Ado-Odota local government put together a 3-day strategic leadership retreat and summit for Baales in the local government, designed to strengthen leadership and administrative capacity while also fostering collaboration between traditional rulers and government structures.
As Baales, we must continually remind ourselves that leadership is not only about authority, but about service. It is about being accessible, being just, and being committed to the progress of our people.
As the closest authority to the people, we serve not only as custodian of our rich culture heritage, but also as a frontline leaders in maintaining peace, resolving conflicts, and fostering development at the community level.
Ogun State Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimot Falako Oyedele, who is also the matron of Ado-Odota Local Government Council of Baales, describes the initiative as timely and necessary, given the increasing demands on traditional leadership in areas such as security, youth engagement, and conflict resolution.
We are peace builders in the community. We are the gatekeepers of our community and, of course, the first line of government. As Baales, we must be active participants and active partners in development, not just passive observers. So we have to have a way to encourage our sons and daughters to come back home.
Stakeholders at the event also highlighted the importance of unity among Baales and the need to build stronger partnerships with governments at all levels.
Government recognizes that traditional institutions are indispensable partners in governance and community development. Baales are therefore expected to support government initiatives, assist in maintaining peace and security, encourage citizens' participation in developmental programs.
Our tourism and cultural heritage sites, local traditions, festivals, arts and crafts are valuable assets that can drive tourism development. Your active involvement in preserving and showcasing these cultural resources will continue to position Ogun State as a leading cultural and tourism destination in Nigeria.
As a region that is very close to the people, you are charged with a lot of responsibilities that require capacity building and human relations.
You don't know leadership by example, but leadership on how you get things done through people.
This is the first time this is coming to play in Ado-Odota local government, and we expect that from here we will bring ideas that can transform the Obas and Chiefs law.
With the theme strengthening traditional leadership for sustainable community development, the sessions focus on peace building, community-driven development, and the evolving responsibilities of Baales in a modern society. It is expected that participants would return to their communities better equipped, more coordinated, and more proactive in promoting peace, preserving cultural heritage, and driving development across Ado-Odota local government. Margaret Okunola, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Executive Council has approved the renaming of the Shagamu-Ikperu-Shapade Expressway as the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Expressway in honor of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The decision followed an earlier announcement to rename the artery bypass during the commissioning of the Gateway International Airport and other landmark projects last Saturday. In a related development, the former aviation village in Ikperu has been renamed after the late Oba Adeleke Idowu Basibo in recognition of his contributions to the community. The council also approved the procurement of 50 electricity transformers to improve power supply across the state under the Lights Up Ogun projects. Additionally, the council approved the purchase of 20 Suzuki Grand Vitara and 12 Toyota Fortuner vehicles to support the administrative operations of public officials. Further decisions include traditional leadership appointments and recognitions across various communities. The council approved the declaration of the Olu of Odeda store in Odeda local government area. It also ratified the appointment of Prince Adeyemi Ibikunle Okuaye as the Oludatun of Idotun in Ikenne local government area, Chief Yaya Oriyomi as the Olu of Mowe, and Basharon Peter Oluwole Ogunbayo as Odemo of Ishara. The approvals reflects the state government's continued focus on infrastructure development, strengthened local governance and community leadership. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals has slashed the ex-country price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, to 1,200 per litre, reversing its earlier increase amid a sharp drop in global crude oil prices triggered by geopolitical developments. The latest adjustment represents a 75 naira reduction from the previous price of 1,275 naira per litre, which the refinery had implemented in response to rising international oil prices and supply concerns. A top official at the refinery disclosed that the facility adjusted its pricing in response to prevailing international crude oil benchmarks and market realities. Brent crude price fell by 13.28% to $94.76 per barrel amid recent geopolitical tensions involving Iran, the United States and Israel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate also dropped by 14.72% to $96.31 per barrel. And on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump has lashed out at NATO over its reluctance to join Washington's war on Iran and appeared to revive threats over Greenland following a meeting with the Alliance Secretary General. Writing on his Truth social platforms, Trump said in capital letters that NATO wasn't there when they needed them and they won't be there if they need them as well. The remark came after a 2-hour meeting with NATO's Mark Rutte at the White House, a day after the U.S. and Iran agreed to a ceasefire. Ahead of the meeting, White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said that member states had turned their backs on the American people who found their nation's defense. She said Trump would have a very frank and candid conversation with the NATO chief and quoted the U.S. president as saying they were tested and they failed. And from the world of sport, President of the Confederation of African Football, this known during a visit to Senegal 22 days after the historic decision to strip the Teranga Lions of victory in the final of the 2026 AFCON and declare Morocco the winner. On March 17, CAF's Appeal Committee announced an unprecedented decision declaring Morocco the winner of the final, which was held on January 18 by a 3-0 scoreline despite losing the match on the pitch 1-0. On the grounds that Teranga Lions players withdrew from the field, CAF's decision sparked strong reactions inside Senegal as the government, in a statement issued on March 18, called for an international investigation into suspicions of corruption within the leading bodies of African Confederation. That will be all on the midday news, but before I go, never you forget that today's accomplishments were yesterday's impossibilities. Thank you for watching the midday news. Join us again at 2 for more news. Bye for now.